Hey, I am back live, perhaps a little bit earlier than I have done in the past. It's 10:20 p.m. Pacific time right now. While I wait for some, oh, this is cool. Nah, not that cool. I'm playing around with some filters while I wait for people to join. Interesting choices here. I'm just gonna stick with normal. Okay. So I do want to get into the habit of doing these live videos regularly, and eventually I will have them on a schedule. It's my aim. If you didn't know already, I have a scheduled YouTube live on the main Eco Vegan Gal channel every Friday, and I'm also doing that on Facebook on the Eco Vegan Gal Facebook page. So this channel I think will be next. It'll definitely be earlier in the day so that more people can join in. But I feel like this topic is something that will be valuable and interesting no matter when you watch it, if you're watching live or not. As usual, if you are watching live, you're welcome at any point to chime in, to say hello, to ask a question, whatever appeals to you at the time, or you can just watch. And same goes with if you're watching the recording. If you want to just put a comment or a question in the comment section, I do read that pretty regularly. Honestly, I'll start off by saying the funk that I've been in has continued, and the past couple days had been challenging. Yesterday was especially challenging, and then the day before, Monday, was slightly challenging. Someone put it as like maybe I'm burning through a lot of karma or something, or just learning a lot about myself, I suppose, has really been what's happening. If you hear the background noise, I'm at Jason Robel's house right now, and my dog Evie and his cats are playing at the moment. So anyways, yeah, it's been a challenging couple days. Today has been better. One of the ways that I cope through challenging times is to kind of spend a lot of time by myself, but also to read. And I've read let's see, I finished one book, I think in like 2 days, and then I started a couple of others. So I'm just like reading as much as I can, taking in information, learning about myself and the world and other people and all that. And fortunately, I was putting myself in such a great place that I happened to prepare myself for something I didn't see coming. And I think I handled it emotionally in a way that I was very proud of. If you've been following this channel for a while, you know that I'm a sensitive person, and one of the hardest things for me about being online is receiving comments from people, from trolls, and from people that are just want to say cruel things, or they want to argue, they want to disagree with you, they want to cut you down. All those things are definitely an ongoing challenge for me. And I surprised myself today because I did get a very mean message from somebody that I will share with you. And emotionally, it really didn't seem to bother me. I more found it really interesting. I'm going to pause that thought and say hello to Joanna, who said, "I'm glad you're feeling better today. I'm headed to work and we'll have a listen to the rest in the evening." Thanks for stopping by, Joanna. You must be, I'm going to guess like you're in the UK or something. Let's see, with like an 8-hour time difference, maybe farther than that. Is it an 8-hour time difference between? It might be more than that from LA. I don't know. I don't know my time zones well enough, but I'm just gonna guess that you're somewhere near the UK. But tell me if if I'm wrong about that. I suppose like you could be anywhere in the world and going to work at any time. Some people go to work very late at night or afternoon, so can't make any assumptions. Anyways, thank you, Joanna, again. So I felt inspired to make a video after this incident happened. So I went to my Instagram, which, if you didn't know already, hi, good evening, Green Dragon. If you didn't know already, I do a lot of Instagram stories. I don't really post that regularly, like photos on Instagram, on my Instagram feed. I think it's because I like want to wait till I find like the perfect photo, and I'm not somebody that's like constantly trying to upgrade or like, update my Instagram. Thank you so much, Vi, for your support. You know where I'm going with this if you do follow my Instagram stories. So I post Instagram stories of Joanna's in Finland. Okay, cool. Thank you for letting me know. So anyways, I'm on Instagram every day. It's just if you don't see me in the feed, you'll probably see me in the stories, or I'm messaging people, or I'm commenting on things and all of that. Ashley apparently saw this. She said it was really horrible. Women are treated especially bad on the internet. And that's part of the reason why I wanted to post what happened. So before I get into more details about what I learned from it, I'll share you what happened. So I got this private message from somebody that I have never interacted with before. I don't know, their account wasn't familiar. It wasn't anybody that I know, unless somebody's like using a fake account or something, but I think it's just a troll. And I don't think this has ever happened to me on Instagram, so it really caught me off guard. It was a surprise. So on Instagram, if you don't know, you can send messages, and then there's like a special section if you're not like friends or following one another on Instagram. You go into like this separate section where you have to approve or decline people, and allowing them to message you or whatever. But people can send you a message and you can just read it and then decide if you want to interact with them. So this person, the stranger, sends me this message. And by the way, there is some strong language here. So if you are, it's not that strong, but I just want to warn you. It is offensive, and it's, what's the word I'm looking for? It's condescending. It's just a very negative vibe. Again, so a total stranger. Line 1 says, Whitney, you are a fat whore. Next line says, you look like a dried up raisin without makeup. And then the next line says, pretty much exactly like my left testicle, you sorry excuse for a human being. And it's interesting, number one, is that my reaction to this was first like surprise, because I'd never received like anything like this on Instagram. Second of all, I just felt like, I don't know where this came from. I have no context for this whatsoever. So then I was starting to think, like, who is this person? Where did they come from? Are they just sending things spam out, but they address me by name? I don't know. It was just like the whole thing was very curious to me. But then I had like this emotional, I guess the only reaction I did have was the desire to want to share this, because I felt like I'm getting a warning that I think I'm okay, my battery power. I wanted to share it because there's a lot of reasons. Number one, I think as Ashley just said, women are a target of online hate and cruelty. And there's a lot of things happening in the United States right now with our presidency, and without getting very political, there seems to be still a lot of, I'm running out of the words to say how to describe this, but I think you know what I'm getting to. There's still a lot of discrimination, right? There's discrimination towards anybody in general, but we've got discrimination on gender, we've got discrimination on race, discrimination on sexuality. I mean, there's all these different things that we're just constantly battling against, and I usually don't come up against that very much. But then again, when I think about the mean comments that I've received online, I think that most of them have been from men. And I assume this is a guy based on the comment about his left testicle. But it was just more that this person found it within themselves. There was something within themselves that said that this was okay, that this was an okay thing to do. And I think it was this moment of realizing that I could just ignore it, block this person, which I did, and never interact with them again, pretend it didn't happen. Or I feel like there is a certain element of activism where putting it out there and publicly saying, hey, this is something that happened to me, it's helping other people understand that this is not okay, and the effect of it, that shock value of this. And it is getting support from other people, which I will also address. People have been very supportive. But it's just kind of like putting it out there and saying like, hey, someone treated me really poorly, and this isn't okay. I won't tolerate it. I won't accept it. But also, my comment on this image when I did share it was that hurt people hurt people. And that was like my first like very strong reaction to this, is like, I don't think I would say that I feel hurt by this, but I do feel sad about this, because this person is clearly so hurt that they want to lash out to somebody else and try to hurt them. And, you know, in all of the reading that I've been doing lately and all of the personal development focus I've had, especially over the last few months, it's just been very concentrated, or I would say the last 6 months, closer to 2 years, anywhere within that range, when I really started to dive deeper into spirituality and religion and all sorts of many different angles of personal development. You know, you just realize every author brings us up at some point, is that we're either coming from a place of fear or we're coming from a place of love. And this is not a loving comment, so this is coming from a place of fear. And fear is really behind anger and cruelty and sadness and all of these different emotions. It all often boils down to fear. And then most of our positive feelings, our positive reactions, our positive conversations with people are often coming from a place of love. And so for me, it was just this takeaway of like extending compassion out. And I think my most recent Facebook Live on this channel, somebody brought up the practice of Tonglen, which, let me make sure that I am defining this correctly. Okay, yes, it's a meditation practice for cultivating love and compassion. It's a gentle step-by-step process of opening the heart by embracing rather than rejecting the unwanted and painful experience. We overcome fear and develop greater empathy for others. And I also believe that this practice is about breathing in pain and breathing out love, and like breathing in suffering and then breathing out healing to other people. So you're not just doing that for yourself, but you're doing that for anybody else who needs it. And when I understood this concept, first learned about it this past fall, it felt like such a great realization to say, like, number one, I can help heal myself, but simultaneously, I can help heal other people, because there's so many people around us that are suffering all the time. And that's part of the reason that I've been wanting to be more and more transparent about my own suffering, my own challenges. I still am not sure that I want to, or I would say still not currently comfortable sharing the specifics, because a lot of the things that I've experienced lately have been very personal, but I do want to be transparent about the process of working through it, healing it, addressing it, and all the different things that I've tried out to make myself feel better. And so I guess in a way I can relate to this person. I don't relate in the sense that I can't imagine ever writing words like that to somebody, no matter who it is. Especially if we're complete strangers, assuming this person has no idea who I am, unless it's like somebody that like I said earlier, that I do know that created a fake account. I don't think that that's the reality. I think that's this person like looking for an outlet, and knowing what my own suffering has been like, knowing like days like yesterday, I was just in a very low place and I didn't want to do anything. But for me, when I feel that way, I get very inward and quiet. I want to be by myself. I don't want to have a lot of interaction. And I just want to find every way possible to heal myself and take care of myself and learn how to get out of it. And I realized through comments like this, through messages like this, that not everybody does that when they're suffering. A lot of people when they're suffering lash out. They're looking for a way to get the energy out of themselves. And actually that's the same thing. Like that's what I do, is I'm looking for a way to get the energy out of myself. But I'm also looking to heal it. I think some people are in such pain and so panicked that they're just like, what can I do to make myself feel better? Maybe if I go bring somebody else down, either A, I'll feel better through the process of bringing someone else down, or B, if I bring someone else down, then I'm not alone in my suffering. And I think I can relate to that too, to be honest. You know, when I'm suffering, the last people I want to talk to are my like super happy friends. Like, I recognize a lot of the people I most want to talk to when I'm having a bad day are the ones that like can relate to that. And instead of being like, oh, it's okay, everything's gonna be okay, we can kind of talk through our struggles together in a way that's like kind of healing. It's that weird desire for when we're down to be with other people at our level. And maybe that's the same thing about being happy, is that when we're happy, we want to be around other people that are happy. Not always the case in those scenarios, but I'm just saying that there is a level of this that I can relate to. Will I tolerate this? No. And so the next part of the story is that when I posted this, I basically took a screenshot. I don't think you can see it super well, but it took a screenshot of the comment, and then I, made my little commentary on it and posted this on my Instagram story. And I received such an outpouring of love, and I want to share with you guys some of the things that people have said in response to this. First one came from, I'm not going to say everybody's full names, but I might say some of the first names because I want to acknowledge them. From Liz, who said, there are some really sick, unhappy people in the world. So sorry. I'm so sad. I'm sorry you received that. And I think that I would just rephrase that as there are a lot of hurt people and fearful people and sad people in the world that don't know how to deal with their emotions, right? And some people commented on this as being disgusting, and some people just wanted to reassure me that these things weren't true. And let's see what else here. I hope you don't believe any of the cruel things people message you. You are beautiful, smart, persistent, patient, and compassionate. You're doing great. I love watching / listening to all you put out. That's from Elizabeth. Thank you, Elizabeth. And I think I just got another new comment as I'm recording this. But you know what I love about Elizabeth's message is that it's another woman who's responding from a very supportive place, and also like lifting other people up. And in one of the books that I've been reading lately, it talks about the importance of coming together as a community, but also embracing people that are similar to us. So in this case, it'd be another woman, right? So women raising up each other. It's very common for women actually to try to drag one another down, to become competitive, to just always be comparing themselves to one another. And we don't take a lot of time to compliment each other or to reassure other people. And I've had that in my mind lately, so I'm always looking for opportunities to compliment people from a very loving place, not necessarily like a superficial, like, hey, you look great today, but hey, you are, smart, and you are compassionate, and, I love the outfit that you chose to wear, or that you put together today, that borderline superficial, but it shows that you're acknowledging this person for something that they're doing. Finding just small ways, whether they're strangers, whether they're friends, acquaintances, someone online, like whatever you can do to help somebody realize that you see them and you appreciate them and you care for them. And I think the more that we can do that, especially to people of the same gender or the same race or the same sexuality, like people that might feel like they're being targeted or something like that, if we can relate to them in some level, it's so helpful to let them know. And I love that the outreach has happened there. And let's see what else here. People just sending love, which has been really meaningful. And people asking things like, what kind of person says this to another human being? And again, that keeps coming down to the hurt and the fear and all of that. But also the outlet, right? Is that the people that do this are the ones that either don't know better somehow, or they're in so much pain that even if they do know better, they're still doing it out of desperation. And I feel like this is driving me to want to help people more, because I feel like when we put out positive, loving energy into the world, when we do our best to inspire people to be their best selves and let them know that they're not alone, and to teach them that there can be a better way to relate to one another, I think that we start to create this domino effect. And so clearly there are lots of people in the world that are hurting, that are feeling, in not a great place around this. Okay, I'll read a few more. It's just, one of my favorite parts of this experience today was that I've heard from a lot of people that I've never heard from before, and that has been so meaningful. Like, it's amazing when you're going through a tough time who comes out of the woodwork. And again, I think this is a good opportunity to mention that if any of you are going through a tough time, if you can find the bravery, the courage within yourself to share that, you'll be amazed at how many people are there to support you. And actually, I really want to take a moment to emphasize that, because a very close friend of mine had been going through a very deep depression. And this friend was in such a low place. I was afraid that I was going to lose this friend. And so what I decide to do was to continuously do my best to support this friend and remind this friend that they weren't alone. And I think when I was really listening to what my friend was saying in the darker times, it was the feeling of being alone. It was feeling like there was no hope. It was feeling like there was no way out of it. So sometimes we do need to just say encouraging words to one another, but also not being afraid to let people know. Because if people don't know that you're struggling, if people don't know that you're suffering, they can't help you. And we get into our heads sometimes and believe that nobody cares, or we don't matter. But if we use the tools that we have now, especially through social media, to just put out something where even if it's a subtle thing, or even just saying, hey, having a bad day today. Like, those simple words, if you have the courage to say them, or something bad happened to me today, like kind of like I did with this post. If you have the courage to put that out there, you'll be blown away by people that'll just come out of the woodwork to show how much they care. Okay, a couple more comments. This person said, I'm sorry that you had to read that, but I'm sorrier for the person who wastes their precious life away doing such things. This one really was interesting to me too. This person said, wow, I wonder how many times they must have heard similar words to feel it necessary to pass along the abuse in order to feel some sense of control. That is such a great point. And a lot of the books that I've read lately have brought this up, is that we learn so much, especially as children, we pick up things. And a lot of times we don't realize how much they're impacting us. But whether it's our family members, or whether it's friends when we're younger, or just, various instances that happen to us, we develop frameworks around them. We get conditioned to think and speak in a certain way, or we have scarring experiences that create fear and anger and sadness within us that lingers for so long. And I think that point of stepping back and saying, instead of focusing so much on like what this person has done to me, it's also wondering, what has this person gone through that has led them to this point? And that, I think, comes back to a similar concept of that process of Tonglen, which is having empathy for others, and to breathing in not just your own pain, but the pain and suffering of other people, and then breathing out peace and love. I think sometimes we have to step back from ourselves to empathize with the people that wronged us or hurt us or done cruel things to us, and send them more compassion, which is one of the hardest things to do, but ultimately that's like one of the most healing things to do and rewarding things to do, because it doesn't come from this selfish, I am hurt place anymore. It's coming from, yeah, I feel hurt, but so does this other person, and that's why they did this. So I love that point there. Somebody also named Ashley pointed out that sexism on the internet is so insidious and awful. And that's a sad reality that we're in right now. Leslie just wanted to take the time to say that I was a wonderful woman and such a great role model, which I really appreciated. And one of the most moving things, I'm not going to share the whole message because it feels quite private, but this post actually opened up an opportunity for me to do some healing with somebody that I didn't realize needed to do some healing. And I got a very long message from this person that was so beautifully written and brave and so well said. And it kind of made me feel like this post was all worthwhile. And I think maybe that's the last point I would make about a post like this, is that sometimes there's a bigger reason why these things happen. And if we can look towards the bigger lessons in things, even if they're small things like this, we can get tremendous takeaways from them that actually benefit us more than they hurt us. And so not only was I able to connect with a lot of people today and feel supported by a lot of people, which is helping me, but I can also turn it around and help them more, because when I'm stronger, I can do more to help other people, number one. But number two, the opportunity to have a conversation with somebody who had something that they wanted to really discuss and get out of their system and work through. What an amazing opportunity. Had I not posted something, had this person not written those words, and had I not shared those words, I may not have had this conversation that was really important to have. And so it comes back around to looking for the bigger meaning in things and just asking ourselves, what can I learn from this? And this simple message that this person sent, there's a lot to learn in there, isn't there? So I want to encourage you guys to think of it in the same way. And number one, realize that when we're doing our very best and showing up in life in the most positive, loving way possible, and people still come at us and treat us in a way that's hurtful, one of the first and most obvious things that you can recognize from that situation is that it probably has nothing to do with you, and you were just in the wrong place at the wrong time, and that person was in that state and wanted to get it out of their system. We can also examine ourselves and see, how do we handle it? How do we respond to it? What can we learn from this? What is this bringing up within us? Why does it hurt us? Like, there's all of those questions. And if you really step back and before you react to something, or instead of reacting, you really take a step back and just ask yourself all these questions. Is, what is this person going through? Why am I reacting the way that I am? What is there to learn from this? You can really, really learn a great deal, and you can not contribute further to the suffering. Instead, you can contribute more to putting more peace and love out into the world. And I feel like if each of us can do that growth in ourselves, if we can develop ourselves to that point, we can make like a resounding difference in this world. The domino effect is massive. Continue passing it on, continue to lead as an example, continue to spread that love and have more love for ourselves, means that we don't do the things that this person did and other people do. We stop it in its path. I think it's common for us to react and want to talk about it and post about it and get into this whole state of anger and frustration. And then we're kind of just passing the baton down. And I actually had to stop myself today and look back and say, like, why am I posting this? Why do I want to share it? I didn't really know the exact reason. Now I have a lot of clarity around that. But at the time, I just felt very compelled to share it. And the most important thing for me before I shared it was to just recognize, am I sharing this out of anger or revenge or hurt? Or am I sharing this because I feel like it's an important thing to be shared? And when I really took the time to reflect on that, I felt like there was an importance to it, which clearly there is in the responses I received. So having that clarity was helpful too. All right, I'm gonna look at some of the comments from you guys that have been coming in live before I wrap everything up today. Thank you so much again for joining. I just appreciate all of your support, just showing up. Each of you guys represent so much more than a number, even though most of the time I can only see how many people are here and not all of your names. Green Dragon, thank you for your supportive reaction there. And Vi said, any kind of hostility towards especially women is not okay. And Ashley said, I think publicly sharing is so important. Vi continued saying that I think men should act like men. There's a lot of sexism in the USA, even compared to Europe, so let's say it's crazy. And then Yadi said, the hardest is when you live with a very negative person. I just came, so I don't know what Whitney's talking about. Yadi, this will be up on the channel if you want to start from the beginning. And maybe at this point you've realized it was about an Instagram message I received today and kind of all the lessons that I've learned from it. And I just want to send some compassion out to you. And if you're implying that you live with a negative person, I would say that's, again, where the self-work comes in. Is like the only person that you can control is yourself. And the best thing that you can do for yourself and for other people is to work on yourself and just do your very best to come from a place of love and understanding every day. And of course, it's easier said than done. It is a practice. It is something that we can constantly learn and improve upon. And just know that you're not alone. I support you. And again, using appropriate places to share with other people when you're having a hard time, and finding positive people in your life can be very helpful, but never letting someone else's negativity take away from your positivity, at least not for too long. That's really easier said than done, so that's why I wouldn't say never let them take away from your positivity, period, because sometimes it takes a while for us to learn how not to react to other people's energies. And so that's where the encouragement of whatever it takes for you to get to a place of being grounded, of being centered, of loving yourself, of loving other people, putting compassion out there, and not reacting to negativity with negativity. That will create so much power and so much ease in your life, peace in your heart. It just, as I was saying earlier, makes the world a better place if each of us can learn how to do that. So, I don't ever want these videos to be too long. I always get a little self-conscious about it, even though I'll get such sweet comments from you guys saying that you don't mind the length, but I think I'm going to wrap this one up. Ashley said, thank you for sharing and for modeling compassion. This is a thing that draws us all to Eco Vegan Gal. Thank you, Ashley. That's very sweet of you. Have a good night, too. You know, it takes courage to do videos like this. It's not always easy for me. As you guys know, sometimes I need to take big breaks, and just because sometimes I'm just not in a place of wanting to share. But when I get to a place of sharing, I love to do this, and I love connecting with each of you. And looks like my connection got really bad, so it might be a sign to wrap things up. All right, thank you, Yadi. Thank you for your words. Thank you for being here. And I'm gonna end this tonight. Stay tuned, everybody, for whenever I get on a regular schedule and an earlier schedule with these live videos. And in the meantime, please check out the Facebook and YouTube lives at Eco Vegan Gal on Friday evenings. I'll have more information. Also, my voice is cracking. That'll be at 5 p.m. Pacific every Friday on both Facebook Live and YouTube Live. I will see you all very soon. Thank you again for being here, and wishing you all the very best. Sending so much love out to you. Until next time, bye.